Hi, welcome to our channel, Programming of Mind, where we accelerate your knowledge with concise, from high-value book summaries. Let's begin. The essence of enlightenment, beyond the self and into the whole. Siddhartha's journey had led him through the trials of indulgence and asceticism, through the wisdom of the river, and through the realization of life's interconnectedness. Now, he was ready to confront the essence of enlightenment itself. He had learned that true wisdom did not lie in external accomplishments, but in the deep acceptance of the self, the surrender to the flow of life, and the ability to see beyond the illusion of separation. Siddhartha's enlightenment was not about escaping life's challenges, but about seeing the divine in every experience, recognizing the eternal within the fleeting, and embracing the whole of existence in all its forms. The moment of transcendence, the river's true voice. In this phase of his journey, Siddhartha's understanding of enlightenment was no longer intellectual or conceptual. It had become a lived experience, an embodiment of deep knowing. One day, as he meditated by the river, Siddhartha experienced a moment of profound transcendence. As he sat quietly, he began to hear the river's voice, not as a stream of individual sounds, but as the voice of the universe itself. He felt a deep connection to the river, to the land, to the air, and to all living beings. It was as if time had stopped, and all of existence had merged into a single moment of perfect clarity. The past, present, and future flowed together in a seamless, eternal whole. This experience was the pinnacle of Siddhartha's journey. In that moment, he realized that everything, every experience, every person, every moment was an expression of the same underlying reality. The river, the trees, the birds, the people, all were interconnected, flowing together as part of a greater cosmic dance. Siddhartha understood that enlightenment was not a state of separation from the world, but a deep immersion in it. It was not about renouncing life, but about embracing it fully, without attachment or resistance. He understood that the nature of reality was not linear or fixed, but fluid and ever-changing. The illusion of time, of separate events and distinct individuals, melted away. In its place was the realization that all things are one, and that true enlightenment comes from seeing and experiencing that unity. Siddhartha's heart swelled with compassion for all beings, for he saw that their suffering was his suffering, their joy his joy, and their lives part of his own. The power of acceptance, letting go of the ego. As Siddhartha moved deeper into this state of awareness, he began to see the limitations of the ego. The ego had been the source of all his suffering in the past. It had been the voice that told him to seek, to strive, to differentiate between right and wrong, good and bad, self and other. But now, Siddhartha understood that the ego was an illusion, a construct of the mind that creates division where none exists. The key to enlightenment, he realized, was not to fight the ego or deny its existence, but to recognize it for what it was, a temporary and fleeting thought process. Siddhartha learned to observe his thoughts and emotions without becoming attached to them. He understood that the ego could never offer true fulfillment because it was based on the false assumption of separateness. The ego existed as a barrier, preventing him from experiencing the oneness of all things. By releasing the grip of the ego, Siddhartha began to experience a deeper sense of peace and freedom. He was no longer bound by the need for recognition, achievement, or approval. He was no longer driven by the desire to prove himself or to accumulate external possessions. Instead, he embraced life as it was, with all its imperfections, changes, and uncertainties. He understood that true happiness comes not from fulfilling the demands of the ego, but from letting go of those demands altogether. The role of compassion, understanding the shared human experience. Siddhartha's enlightenment was not an isolated or selfish experience. It was deeply connected to his understanding of others. As he sat by the river, Siddhartha became increasingly aware of the pain and suffering of others. He saw how people, like himself, were caught in the cycle of desire and attachment, constantly seeking happiness in external things. Yet, Siddhartha also saw that these individuals were all part of the same cosmic web, and that their suffering was not separate from his own. His understanding of interconnectedness led him to develop a deep compassion for all beings. Siddhartha no longer saw others as separate from himself, but as reflections of his own soul. He understood that every person, no matter how lost or troubled, was simply a part of the flow of life, moving toward the same realization that he had experienced. He no longer judged or criticized others for their suffering. Instead, he saw them with love, understanding, and empathy. Siddhartha had transcended the need to compete with others or to see them as obstacles in his path. Instead, he saw them as fellow travelers on the same journey. This compassion extended beyond people to all living creatures. Siddhartha realized that all beings, human and non-human, were expressions of the same divine energy. He understood that the ultimate purpose of life was not to acquire personal success or wealth, but to live in harmony with the world and to help others awaken to their own divine nature. A real-life parallel, the transformative power of compassion. Siddhartha's realization about compassion mirrors the experiences of many individuals who have gone through a profound transformation. Take Jane, a successful businesswoman who had spent much of her life focused on her career and personal accomplishments. For years, she had been driven by the desire for success, constantly seeking more money, more recognition, more influence. But despite her outward achievements, Jane felt empty inside. She began to feel disconnected from others, viewing them as competitors or obstacles to her success. However, after a period of deep introspection and personal growth, Jane began to shift her perspective. She realized that her sense of isolation came from her attachment to her ego, and that her true happiness lay in compassion for others. Jane started to focus less on her own success and more on the well-being of those around her. She found joy in helping others succeed, offering mentorship, and connecting with people on a deeper level. As she embraced compassion, Jane felt a deep sense of peace and fulfillment. Her life, which had once been driven by the pursuit of external achievements, was now guided by love and service to others. This transformation is similar to Siddhartha's realization. When we let go of our egos and see others as part of the same greater whole, we experience a shift in our understanding of happiness. We begin to understand that the key to lasting fulfillment is not in acquiring more for ourselves, but in giving and sharing with others. Compassion becomes the bridge that connects us to the world and to our own true nature. The final teaching, embracing the present moment. As Siddhartha's understanding deepened, he realized that true enlightenment was not about transcending the world or escaping its challenges. It was about embracing life fully, as it is in each and every moment. He understood that the key to peace and happiness was not in seeking something beyond the present, but in fully experiencing the present itself. Each moment, no matter how simple or mundane, was a reflection of the divine. By embracing the present moment with full awareness and acceptance, Siddhartha had found the peace he had been searching for all his life. He no longer sought answers outside himself. He had realized that all the wisdom he had been searching for had always been within him. The key to enlightenment was not in seeking something external, but in letting go of the need to search altogether. By becoming fully present in the now, Siddhartha discovered that the answer to all his questions was already clear. The present moment is all that exists, and in it, everything is perfect. A real-life parallel, finding peace in the now. Siddhartha's realization about the present moment is a powerful lesson for anyone seeking peace and fulfillment in life. Take Alex, a young professional who constantly worried about his future, his career, relationships, and success. He was always striving for the next big thing, believing that happiness would come once he achieved certain goals. But despite his efforts, Alex never felt truly satisfied. It was only when Alex learned to embrace the present moment, to focus on the here and now, that he found peace. He stopped worrying about what would happen tomorrow and began to live fully in each moment. He realized that his constant striving had kept him from experiencing the beauty and joy that was already present in his life. By letting go of his attachment to the future, Alex found a deep sense of contentment in the present, just as Siddhartha did. Thank you for listening, and please like the video and subscribe for more great upcoming content that will put you in top 1% people in the world.